falx cerebri, original this, came from the nasal crest. You know, this was here the crista galli, nasal crest, and this is a foramen cecum. This is where the superior sagittal sinus starts. Okay, here. And the falx would be in the midline because it separates the two hemispheres. Now, the tentorium was attached to here, to this margin, the borderline between the anterior and the posterior surfaces of the petrous part of the temporal bone, immediately starting with a sinus. Who remember this sinus? The superior petrosal sinus. Okay, superior petrosal sinus. This is from where it started. And it was here at the tentorial notch, what I mentioned, okay, because the plate was like this, in this position, the tentorium, horizontally, separating the cerebellum below and the occipital lobe above. But here it has a U-shape opening. This was the tentorial notch for the brainstem. Okay? So, we mentioned already a few sinuses, namely the superior sagittal sinus. What was this? Inferior sagittal sinus.
That's cute.
It was laryngeal or mobile phone? Or something else. Okay, I don't want to go in. So, you see, this is the tentorium. This is the U-shape opening for the brainstem. And now I showed the superior sagittal sinus, superior petrosal sinus, this one. Okay? And we mentioned the big ones, the straight sinus from above, you know, the superior sagittal sinus, you see it starts here and goes backward. This is the confluence of the sinuses, and from the straight sinus, from below the occipital, which is not in the figure, and then the flow continues in the transverse sinuses, then sigmoid, and then internal jugular vein starts. But the very important center for the sinuses, we don't see this here, but I will dissect it in the cadaver later, is the cavernous sinus. Cavernous sinus around the pituitary gland. Okay, cavernous sinus. We dissect this because here we have 4 cranial nerves in this pulse and artery. I will detail this later. And this is also a sinus. This is called sphenoparietal sinus, this, which comes here in the margin of lesser wing. Sphenoparietal sinus, you know. This is what I would mention first. To the cavernous sinus. The 2 cavernous sinuses are connected by the intercavernous sinuses anterior and posteriorly. And then from there we have flow towards the transverse sinus via the superior petrosal sinus. We have also a smaller one, the inferior petrosal, which was here. It goes down to the sigmoid, basically, or very close to the start point of the internal jugular vein. So the superior petrosal sinus was this, and it goes to the transition of the transverse and sigmoid, and the inferior petrosal sinus goes down directly to the internal jugular foramen, to the transition of the sigmoid and internal jugular vein. Okay? Good? These are the sinuses what we mentioned. And don't forget, very important anastomosis of the cavernous sinus with or from the superior ophthalmic vein. And the superior ophthalmic vein has anastomosis with, who remembers? Angular vein, exactly, angular vein. And this was the start point of the facial vein. And if the flow becomes the opposite, then we may have severe infection. Maybe it shows this. You know, that is the outer, the darker blue, that is the superficial structure, the facial vein, which normally starts from the angular and then goes down. But if the flow somehow, because of the inflammation in the face, is the opposite, then through the angular vein, we go to the superior ophthalmic and it runs to the cavernous sinus. Okay.
And then the nerves become.
Can be paralyzed, yes. Okay, the other option is with the facial, not the facial, the maxillary vein and the pterygoid plexus labeled here. This is the retromandibular, it's not correct, it's not retromandibular, this is the retromandibular here, and this is the facial vein. Be careful, I didn't see this mistake. Retromandibular is this, and this is the maxillary vein, and the maxillary vein starts normally with the pterygoid plexus and goes this way. But if we have upper wisdom operation or something, this plexus, the pterygoid plexus, can be influenced, and through this, inferior ophthalmic first, then superior ophthalmic, and cavernous sinus again. Inferior ophthalmic is this, and then superior ophthalmic and cavernous sinus. Okay? These two important anastomosis should
Could
be
you
known.
show where the cavernous sinus is?
Cavernous sinus will be here.
Just
Here.
lateral to the.
Lateral to the sella turcica, Turkish cella. Okay? Yes, we will dissect it otherwise later. It will be, I hope, nice. We have other anastomosis between the intracranial veins and the superficial veins. We mentioned the emissary veins. Do you remember the emissary veins? Normally drains outward.
What was the definition of
Emissary veins emit, so transports the venous blood outward.
Okay.
Okay, carries the blood outward. But again, if we have inflammation, then the flow can be opposite, and the inflammation can disseminate towards the inner. So the most famous is the mastoid, behind the mastoid process, and we have the condylar behind the occipital condyle. This is what we studied in first semester. Mastoid and condylar emissary veins. Good. Otherwise, of course, as you can see here. Was it here? No, it wasn't. I cannot show, maybe next time. We have very important anastomosis through the foramen magnum. We have a so-called basilar venous plexus here on the lower part of the brainstem towards the foramen magnum. From where, what kind of vein starts?
The
Through the foramen magnum. What vein starts? Internal vertebral venous plexus. Okay.
Oh, is that between the azygos and
Then,
hemizygos?
yes, at the level of the spinal cord, it is drained to the azygos and hemizygos. First external vertebral venous plexus, then azygos and hemizygos.
Yeah, because
Okay.
it's in drawings, right?
Yeah. Good. Okay.